To suffer in silence means dealing with deep pain and struggle alone.
Here at Drop an Anchor, we want to create a safe space to break the silence. Welcome to the RECtable.
Hey, fam, we're back,
We are back
and we want to welcome you to Drop an Anchor podcast.
at the RECtable.
This is our segment called the RECtable. The purpose of this segment is to allow people to come in and join us so that they can share their experiences with not only us, but you. And we can drop some anchors and heal some trauma. Because you know, this is all about what? Personal growth and development. And so that's what we're here to do today.
All right, before we get started, please make sure that you like, subscribe, share, turn on those post notifications because we don't want you to miss an episode, whether we're in the studio, at the RECtable, or in the streets. We want you to be with us every step of the way. And also, if you need any assistance with photography, aerial footage, podcasting, please make sure that you reach out to Destiny Cloud Sessions. I'll make sure to drop all the information below.
Perfect. Okay, so let's get into
Let's
it.
get into it.
Okay. Okay, so welcome back, John. We respect the fact that you needed to take a breather. This is hard work. So,
Well, he needed a minute because he hasn't told a lot of people this. He's told me, but people like you guys, he's never told, and so it's very new for him, and it's a lot to unpack.
yes.
Well, we appreciate you being here and trusting us with this, and just know there's no judgment. This is a safe space, and you can talk about what you want and what you don't. We understand.
So,
I appreciate this. Thank you.
right. So, like I said, it's all about healing,
Yep.
and this is a space of trust. You know, forget about the cameras. You know, but so many people will be impacted by your bravery because this is a hard subject for anybody to speak about. So, what is it that you feel like you also need to talk to us about so that you can now release yourself from the strongholds that those experiences have had on you?
I repeat the question.
I know. So I'm just asking you, what else has come up or is at the forefront of your mind that you feel like you need to release? As you said, what did you just tell me? You need to do this, right? Okay. So in addressing your need to do this, because like I said, I only want you to do what is safe for you at this time. So what else can you tell us that will help you to heal from the the trauma behind this?
Another thing that I experienced growing up as a child, being forced to do things. Like I said, at the time, I didn't know.
Right.
And letting the people know that it hurts and you need to say something.
Absolutely.
Do not hold it in, because it will affect you.
So when you say okay, I guess I want to address the fact that I keep hearing you say you didn't know. We know you didn't know. I want you to change that narrative, because when you say you didn't know, you're blaming yourself. And this is not your fault.
Yep.
They did this to you. Whomever they did this to you. So I want you to shift from blaming yourself to saying, they did this to me. It was not my fault. I didn't know. I was a child. They violated me. That will help you to release the blame that you're giving yourself, because this is not you. You know? So when you think about it moving forward, because we've opened some doors,
Yep.
you will.
So you made a statement and you said that it messes you up. Can you elaborate on that?
It's like it's like it replays in your mind over and over, and it's like somebody hitting a rewind button, and it takes something else. Unfortunately, it takes something else to get to change what's playing in your head.
Right.
Okay.
And a lot of times it's something else bad.
Let's talk about that.
It's just too much. And I didn't realize, like I said, I didn't realize any of this, a lot of this shit happened until like recently.
Okay. Isn't it amazing the things that we can repress?
Yeah. And it kind of put me in a depression.
Okay.
On top of the PTSD I was already going through from being in the military.
Okay.
All of a sudden, all these little things start popping up in my head, and it seemed so real that I knew it happened.
Yeah.
And it's just like out of the blue, I would have this memory pop up, and there's triggers.
Right.
And it'd be something that somebody said, or a smell or a sound. A lot of my triggers now, mostly a lot of my triggers are smell, has to deal with smell.
Really? Is that from childhood or is that from military?
Both.
Okay.
So when you were in the military, did that help suppress your past? Did it make it worse? What was that like for you?
In my military experience, that was not suppressing. I was not experiencing my childhood memories
Okay.
then. To be honest with you, what I did in the military, I kind of enjoyed doing. And that's how I saw myself growing up as a kid, doing, being a Marine, going, go fight in a war.
So it sounds like the military was a way for you to put all of that in the past and bury that.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Unwillingly doing that. That wasn't the main reason.
Okay.
I was heading down after high school. I waited a whole year after high school to go in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
Which probably was almost a big mistake. I should have just went in right after high school, because I was going down the wrong road, and I realized I needed to
To straighten up, you know what I'm
So,
saying? Yeah.
So then maybe that was the structure and the support and the,
Yes.
you know, that you needed,
Yes.
or
You
you
needed.
thought that you needed at that time.
At that time, like I said, I never had a father figure in my life. Up until that point, everything I knew or learned was on my own. By trial and error, you know. And that's why, that's why I'm the way I am today. Very quiet, laid back demeanor. You know, resting bitch face. I'm not.
That's where I get it from.
If you ever figure it out, Cheyenne's my daughter.
I think we told them that in the beginning.
I don't think so.
Oh. Oh, you're right.
We didn't.
Okay.
Sorry.
We meant to tell you that. I'm sorry.
It's gave me structure.
Right.
Can appreciate that.
Turned me into a man, made me the man I am today. What skills I learned growing up, pretty much the Marine Corps honed it and became better at it.
How was it for you after the Marine Corps?
It was hard. When I got forced out and after the war, when they downsized, it was a struggle trying to get back to civilian world. And then that's when the memories start popping up.
Right.
Okay.
Is it because you had a lot of free time on your hand? You weren't actively always busy doing something?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I realized, and that's when my PTSD from combat started.
Okay. You spoke to us before filming about some things that happened in the military that you now have PTSD from. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
When I almost got blown up.
There you go. That would be.
That's why I get
That's
my.
huge.
That would be it.
Excuse me.
No problem.
That's why I shake. That's where I get that from. Is, when you're like close to an explosion, it messes with your head. At the time, you don't realize the damage it does. And it's not just from combat. You know, my military career, all the training I did, there's always loud noises, loud, explosions, and so it takes a toll. And suffered a TBI, traumatic brain injury, and I've been told that I have permanent nerve damage. But then I've been told by other doctors that eventually I'll get my nerves back that were damaged. But it's part of my PTSD.
Right.
And I didn't come to understand what PTSD really meant. I thought PTSD was just military or combat. And it's not.
Right.
PTSD is when you suffer something traumatic in your life. It doesn't have to be combat or military related. I grew up, my whole life growing up, it was one big PTSD.
Right.
Okay. So it's just been one thing after another. Every time you tried to escape, it seems like you walked into another situation that just exacerbated or piled on, more experiences that you have to try to recover from.
There's a gap in my life that I do need to mention, that my adopted family,
Okay.
that will always, that at the same time, at the time that happened was the time that I needed to happen. I was adopted pretty much when I was 10. It's a wonderful family that that will always be there. But I hid a lot from them. And just want to thank them for always being there. They always said, I always had a home to come to. And it's true.
It's amazing. No, I shouldn't assume, but did you ask for help, or is there any reason that you didn't ask for help?
Yes, I asked for help when I realized, I have two suicide attempts. And if we want to talk about that, we can.
Okay.
We're here
You
to
ready?
talk about whatever you would like to release.
This is about you today.
February 21st, 2021.
So these are recent.
Recent.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
You were talking about the 2 suicide attempts.
Yeah, so I had 2 suicide attempts. The first one was February 26th, 2021. Back then, I was a heavy drinker, an angry drunk, violent drunk, and just so happened that particular date, was my youngest daughter. It was her birthday.
Not me.
And we all were partying, and at the same time, that same time period is the anniversary of Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Desert Storm. So I naturally, at that time, would be very depressed. And on top of the drinking and my constant pain that I was going through with the severe nerve damage, I had chronic pain. I was 24/7. Always having pain. With the drinking and the date, I couldn't take it no more, and I tried to blow the back of my head off.
Jesus.
And if it wasn't for my daughter, Cheyenne, stepping in and pretty much grabbed the gun out of my hand, I would have done it. And I wouldn't be here today.
Well, we thank you, Cheyenne.
We're grateful that you were there to intercede. And
And I don't know where she came from. Because I ran
God.
off.
That was God.
I ran off and thought nobody could find me, but she found me.
Of course she did, because she was guided there. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
That day, we were celebrating, like I said, my younger sister's birthday. My dad and I got into like an argument, and me and my sister had left. We all lived together at the time also. And we went back to the house. He came by, he went into his room and then left. And we were just wondering, like, what is he doing?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up calling my sister and just not sounding right and kind of incoherently saying kind of where he was. And I was listening, and just from what I heard, I just took the direction of what I thought he was saying. And that's exactly where I found him, in the complex that we lived. It's in Vegas, but we did have trees, but we also had like gravel and like ginormous rocks just to view at, I guess, whatever. But I found him sitting there on a huge rock, and he had his gun in his hand, and I snatched it from him and called my sister, told him to call his like friends in his motorcycle club that he was in at the time, and they called the ambulance, got him into a mental ward. I don't know if it was with the VA or anything, and that's where he stayed. And yeah, as
What did that do to you, seeing your father there with the gun?
it's definitely hard to see, but I also understand too, because I've felt that way. So I wasn't trying to go out him, especially because we were fighting like a couple hours beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And like I could understand how he felt, so I wasn't going to try to put him down anymore. I just
Right.
wanted to give him the help that he needed,
Right.
Right.
especially because when people see you like that, they're not going to always try to help you either.
Right.
A lot of people try to tell you you're acting dumb and there's no reason to feel this way.
Right.
But I 100% knew how he felt because I've felt that way.
Okay. I want you to take a deep breath too. Take a deep breath. Thank you. Thank you for being brave enough to share this part of your story. Again, we know how sensitive this subject is. We're grateful that he had a person who could understand what he was going through, because it's my firm belief that in that critical moment, if you do not connect with the right person, you don't know what those results will be. So you were chosen to be there for him at that time.
Absolutely.
And so we're happy about that, most definitely. But I also know, not to deflect from you, but I also am recognizing that there's something that you might need to say, because this is not just about him. We're at a healing table. So if there's something at this time that you need to talk about, we welcome you to open up and speak about that.
Shoot, I don't even know where to start.
Wherever your heart tells you.
I know I guess I can start like when I said that I know how he feels about wanting just to end it. When I was younger, of course, my parents got divorced. He got divorced from my mom. My mom hasn't been the best person. She's a drug addict and has been most of my life. And she got clean for a short amount of time, and I went to live with her, and then she relapsed. And no one was there.
Oh, breathe. Okay. Hold her hand. Grab her hand.
It's okay.
We have supportive energy. Come on. We're here to support.
We want you to know that we recognize no one was there then, but we are here now. So whatever you need.
I need a drink.
Don't tell the secrets.
told some people this stuff, but I haven't told family.
Sometimes it's important to realize that your family, they're so, even if they're not directly involved, there is always someone
My friends
that
are
you
my
can
family.
confide in. Well, that's
That's good.
important too.
I mean, I know
I
I have
found-
some blood family, but
As John said, his adoptive family was supportive, and you have to find whomever that may be. You know, family is not created by bloodline. I just don't believe in that,
I
because
don't either.
people in, listen, we're going to talk
What?
about people in people's bloodline,
Right.
that there is no semblance of family.
Well, John and I were having a conversation when we had to take a break, and he asked, if this was appropriate to talk about his adopted family. And I said, absolutely, because there may be people out there that are suffering the way that he did, the way that Cheyenne did, and maybe because it was a air quote adopted family, didn't feel like you could open up to them.
Right.
But your adopted family, as you told me, is still here for you to this day. So
And one of them sitting at this table. That would be Ellyn.
so that
So
So
now you're going to make me cry.
So let's talk about how it's safe when you feel loved, whether it's bloodline or not. You got to recognize that it's safe.
Blood isn't always the right answer.
No, it's not.
It's what comes from the heart.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
And it may be friends, maybe a band of brothers that you served with.
Yes. Whatever entity, whatever person, whatever, sometimes the judgment comes from family. And we know that. And sometimes, I'm sorry to say, but the family is where you are most unsafe.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring light to that and say, when we talk about getting a safe space, it is the person or people or entity that makes you feel as though you can be yourself and that you can lay everything on the table without judgment, because we've all been through so many things. We all have a story.
I think that's kind of part of the reason why we even started this podcast.
Right.
Is because we wanted people to know that we've been there. We've experienced
Right.
it. We've endured it and are still enduring
And
it.
still, this
and
is
trying to overcome it
every
and want
day.
to create a safe space for people out there, for people like Cheyenne and John today, to let you know that we're here to listen.
right. And so this process is definitely ongoing. We're not done here. I want to tell you, brother,
I need a puff.
we are here.
Just a second.
Cheyenne, we are here. We'll take a quick break.